So what's going on, guys? It's Jeremy, it's Speakboxing. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel before you click on to any of the videos. Also comment below in the comment section if you guys have any opinions on what I'm saying in any of the videos. Like always, it's appreciated if you guys could drop me a quick sub or two on my channel. So Keith Thurman, WBA and WBC welterweight champion, says that he is not ready for a unification bout with IBF champion Errol Spence Jr. He says that he's not ready in terms of that he's got obligations. Obviously, he doesn't think he's not ready, like, in the actual fight, but he thinks that he's not ready yet in terms of what he's got to do. He says that he's got to get back in the ring, and then he's got to have a fight with his mandatory challenger, who is Sean Porter, and that's a rematch a lot of people do want to see, but a lot of people do want to see this unification with Errol Spence, but he says this fight is more than likely to happen in 2018 and 2019. He says that Sean Porter deserves a shot at him again because obviously he gave him a close fight in the first fight, and then he's gone on to beat guys like Adrian Granados and Andre Berto to get the mandatory status by the WBC. So yeah, very interesting comments from Keith Thurman. A lot of people are thinking that Keith Thurman's ducking, and when he was asked recently, I think it was at it was at the light middleweight card. It was the Charlo Lubin fight and the Lara Gorsha fight. He was doing commentary work alongside Errol Spence, and the presenter asked him basically, when do you think you'll be fighting Errol Spence? And he was there trying to dodge the question and trying to just to give like a, we'll see and all that kind of thing. And you could just see on Errol Spence's face that he was thinking, does this guy really want to fight me, or is this guy just ducking me? And apparently he asked him that night if he wants to fight him, and he says that when he's ready, then he'll be ready to fight him. That's what Errol Spence is saying. When Keith Thurman's ready, he'll be ready. But Keith Thurman's saying that he's not ready because he needs to get back in the ring because he's got an injury. Well, he had an injury, and he's possibly going to have a tune-up fight. We don't know if he'll be defending his world titles in his comeback, and then he's got to have a fight with Sean Porter in a rematch. And that first fight between him and Sean Porter was a fantastic fight, and I expect it to be a fantastic fight second time around. But I'm interested in unifications in the welterweight division because you got Keith Thurman, who is the unified champion. You got Spence, who is the IBF champion, and you've got Jeff Horn, who is the WBO champion. He's fighting Gary Corcoran in a couple of weeks' time. Gary Corcoran being a British fighter, but I expect Jeff Horn to beat him because Gary Corcoran hasn't really fought anyone world class in his career. He's been a domestic level fighter in the UK. But a lot of people expect Terence Crawford to come into the welterweight division and take the WBO title off Jeff Horn. So if Terence Crawford manages to get his hands on the WBO title, Errol Spence as the IBF and Keith Thurman as the WBC and WBA, then that's a very interesting mix. And I think 2019 could be the year for the welterweight unification, because I think this year, I don't think Keith Thurman's going to get in the ring with Errol Spence. I think that Terence Crawford has got to make his introduction into the welterweight division, and I think next year is going to be the year for the welterweights. But I'm not saying that I'm not disappointed that I don't get to see unifications in 2018, and maybe we will. Maybe Keith Thurman's just saying this now, but maybe in 2018 he'll change his mind, and maybe we'll see a unification bout. Maybe we'll see him fight Terence Crawford or something like that. Maybe we'll see him in a big fight. Or maybe we'll see Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. Like, we just don't know yet what we're going to see in 2018. 2017 been a very good year for boxing. But I'm just thinking, with Keith Thurman saying this and then him dodging the question at the New York fight show, that maybe he doesn't want to get in the ring and have a unification bout yet. Maybe he's looking to have a tune-up and then fight Sean Porter, and that's all she wrote in 2018. But this is boxing and shit happens all the time, so you just don't know what's going to happen. But for right now, it looks like Keith Thurman doesn't want to get in the ring with Errol Spence, and maybe he's just lying here. Maybe he thinks that he can't beat Errol Spence. Maybe mentally he thinks Errol Spence may be too much for him. But Keith Thurman, to me, comes across as a fighter who is very confident in his ability. You know what I mean? Keith Thurman believes he is the best welterweight in the world, and so far he has shown that he's a very good fighter, beating guys like Sean Porter and Danny Garcia. Like, in terms of resume, in the welterweight division right now, you've got to say Keith Thurman is the best guy coming through. You know what I mean? Out of all the younger guys, you got to say Keith Thurman has the best resume. Obviously, Errol Spence has that very good victory over Kell Brook as well. But Terence Crawford still hasn't done anything at welterweight because he's yet to have a fight there yet. But if he gets his hands on a world title, then I'm saying it's going to be a very interesting mix in the welterweight division. And I think these guys having fights with each other can mean big money in the welterweight division. And you know what I mean? Like, these fights are big fights. Crawford and Thurman's a big fight. Spence and Thurman is a big fight. Spence and Crawford is a big fight. You know what I mean? These are all big fights, and hopefully we get to see them sooner rather than later. But for right now, it's looking like it's going to be later. Like, maybe Keith Thurman's been advised by Al Heyman. You don't know what's gone on here. But Keith Thurman obviously still has this injury in the back of his mind. He had that elbow injury after the Garcia fight, so he's thinking, you know what, I'm not getting into these big unification bouts. I'm going to get into with maybe a fringe lower level opposition, you know what I mean, and just see how this elbow plays out, and then give Porter his rematch, and then after that we'll see unification bouts. So it is what it is at the end of the day. I can understand people being disappointed because people do want to see unifications. I want to see unifications, but I'm also very realistic, and boxing politics is a real thing. These guys all have different mentalities. Like Errol Spence, I feel like he'll fight anyone, whereas Keith Thurman, I believe he'll get in the ring with these guys, but I believe that he's one of these guys who likes to get rid of his mandatories, and he likes to get in there with these guys at the right time, you know what I mean? Whereas Errol Spence is all systems go, and that's something you've got to admire from Errol Spence. So it is what it is at the end of the day. Comment below in the comment section. It's JM, it's Speakboxing.